talking about the idea of uniting the tribes. And I think this generation of people growing up today is very aware of all the different kinds and types of people that are in the world. If we go back a couple of hundred years, there was certainly less interaction between people, and people could grow up and live their whole life without too much interaction, obviously with some exceptions, like the explorers and the traders. But people could grow up without a lot of interaction, without people of different colors and creeds and races. And, everything's just completely changed now with the technology and our intercontinental flights and our communications technology. Like, it's just a different world. So today, people have got the opportunity to really come to a deeper understanding that there are many different kinds of people, not just our own kind. And I think this idea is embedded deeper into the religions as well. And if you talk about the idea that religion is available for every creed and color and race and etc. So I think that this possibility now to bring people together has never been so rich and so challenging and so important. Some people refer to a clash of civilizations in certain contexts, and that's always going to be a challenge and a risk when you get different viewpoints and ideologies and values coming up against each other. You're going to have friction, you're going to have tension, you're going to have conflict. So the idea of then getting to a deeper bedrock of our common humanity and our unity is very much what I understand by the concept of unite the tribes. And I think that what's really important is that you can't do it without some spiritual inspiration, without some help from above. The humanism of the 60s, and this is probably, something that a lot of people would want to sort of enter into debate about, and no doubt there'll be opportunities to have those discussions. But the humanism of the 60s or the 70s just didn't have the power to overcome the human tendencies to selfishness and the human tendencies to pride or what it might be that actually present the biggest obstacles to unity. I believe that in order to unite the tribes, we really need to tap into profound spiritual power. Now, that could look differently for different people, and inevitably it will, and it does. But I'm talking about the kind of spiritual power that is contained, in the great religious traditions, the great faith traditions, kind of power that allows us to overcome ourselves and to be humble and to walk in the mystery, in the ambiguity of not knowing and not having certainty. And really, I think that's the only thing that's going to allow us to reach out to each other as brothers and sisters across all of the divides, across the cultural divides, the race divides, the creed divides, the belief divides, the economic divides, the gender divides. There's so many divides. We're going to need some serious rocket fuel in this ship in order to overcome all of that. And I think that's really where faith and God and spirit are essential. So yes, unite the tribes. It is a function of this age. It's going to take time. It's going to take millions and millions and millions and millions of people working together to cooperate in order to agenda that spiritual unity that we talk about when we mean unite the tribes. But that is the spiritual unity that we need as a planet. It's a spiritual unity that we need to end war. It's a spiritual unity we need to deal with the global challenges that are before us, whether they're environmental, whether they are migrants, a refugee situation that cross borders and are transnational. In order to really deal with these global sized issues, we need global sized decision-making entities. And I think, as a precursor to that, the opportunity that we have got is to be a part of that spiritual unity. And I think that's something that the interfaith movement has been working very, very hard on. I think that's something that the intercultural dialogue groups have been working very, very hard on. So the foundations are laid, but it's going to take an incredible effort, but it is an amazing mission, and it's something that I think millions of young people and young and old and young at heart can and will come together in order to fulfill that mission, which is to achieve unity and understanding and to recognize our common humanity certainly, given the spiritual power and insight and understanding that comes from a spiritual perspective. So yeah, we're not going to do it on our own. I think we're going to need to tap in deep and tap in high. But if we do that, then we will unite the tribes, and that is our destiny of that. So I'm very convinced.